Ian, let's talk about
The return of toys and video games.
yes.
So Ubisoft has announced Starlink Battle for Atlas, and this is coming out on all consoles, I believe. They really focused on the Switch version,
Which was curious, but I love that they focused on it.
yeah. I just think they wanted to show their support for the Switch, and I think just the way the Switch controller is designed
And toys.
and toys. But there's a neat way for them to, hook it up onto the Switch controller. But Starlink looks like the type of game that I would be interested in, based on the fact that it's spaceship dogfighting, and I love that sort of stuff. And it has a nice look to it. That just the way the starships and the graphics look, I enjoy what I saw. What's more interesting for some people, but I think what may turn me off, at least from the Switch version, is Starlink has a modular build-your-own battleship sort of toy system for at least the Switch version. Now, I don't know if that's been announced for the Xbox One or PS4 versions. I would assume that it would be, because it would be silly for them to lose out on money.
Well, do the other consoles have an NFC reader on them to be able to pull it off?
Well, they could do it the same way they did it with Skylanders or anything else.
Just put an attachment
sell it
on.
with a dock.
Okay.
Just drop
Versus
it.
just being it built in, which makes it a little bit easier, probably less cumbersome.
It makes it look neat because you got your little starship flying around on your controller.
Yeah. So basically, how it works is it's like you can probably, hopefully, optionally buy pieces for your ship, and then attachments, and as soon as you snap in the attachment, it'll change like the weapons on your ship and the loadout, which that sounds cool if it's in real time. But now I'm picturing myself like looking around my sofa and getting toys and snapping them on my console onto my controller. Well, it is a console if it's a Switch. How would you play it in handheld mode? Well, that's the thing. It has to be optional then. Because if it's in handheld mode, how the fuck are you going to pull that off on the plane? You'd be packing 15 toys in your bag to play Starlink Battle for Atlas?
You can just tap it on the joystick, probably.
Well, you're going to put it, the person next to you is eating their food and be like, what are you throwing toys on me in the middle of battle? It has to be optional. It has to be optional, Ian, for this. Otherwise, there's no way I'm going to be able to get this and play this and enjoy this.
Well, maybe not, and maybe that, and maybe,
maybe fuck you, Pat.
And maybe that's the game's folly. I mean, they made portable Skylanders games for the 3DS, and as far as I know, they sold like shit. Probably because you had to have toys with you when you were trying to play portable games.
Okay, gimmicks aside, that might cost me $100 in extras to buy. I think this looks fantastic.
It does.
And yes, and the joke is that people are calling it No Man's Skylanders, which just aesthetically it looks like No Man's Sky.
Yeah, it does.
But this is the game I will play instead of No Man's Sky, because I actually wouldn't mind a story, and I wouldn't mind actual dogfighting to occur regularly.
Well, it looks like it occurs all the time, so that's pretty nice.
Yes. Just from the trailer, though, I had to see more gameplay, but from the trailer, though, it looks like most of the dogfighting's on planets, which I don't mind, but they do show it in space. I prefer most of it in space, but having even a combination is great.
Yeah.
To do that. Now, I guess we'll see what happens. Fall of 2018, so this is really a reveal trailer. And this is like, we were just getting into this shit. Mm-hmm. But the fact that they're focusing, Ubisoft always had nice support for Nintendo. They never totally kicked them into junk like EA has done in the past, and now Capcom, which we'll get into to an extent. But so it looks like you have, let's see, travel seamlessly through the exotic alien worlds of the Atlas star system. Each one of its planets has its own identity, ecosystem, and wildlife. Be careful, as space is a hostile environment. Yeah, we know that. All right, the world evolves depending on your actions and your choices. Everything that you do has an impact on your journey. So this goes back to the argument between total open world, no story, it's just a clusterfuck, No Man's Sky, which, yes, you can enjoy it, but not having any structure could damage it, versus this, semi-open, there's some structure to it, but you still have some choice in what you do, sort of a privateer sort of game, which is what I always prefer, or something like Star Citizen. This is a simple Star Citizen game, a very simple Star Citizen, but this will actually come out probably before Star Citizen comes out fully. So there you have it. So I think it's something to look out for. Again, if I am able to play and enjoy the game the same way without buying trinkets and toys, and without charging me the same way to get the upgrades to my ship, I'll be on board for Starlink Battle for Atlas.